A girl who is not even wide, who did not live a reckless life while she was single. She knows she was a good girl to the core. And you still get married to a douchebag. It happens. The part where I mentioned two good people can have a bad marriage, and even sometimes, why I said there's no formula to this thing is because sometimes you hear people say things like, "Oh, wild girls will end up with bad husbands," and they'll be like, "It's all the things you did before you got married. They're coming back to you." And I've seen situations where I don't want to mention names. I don't even want to go into the story out of respect for the privacy of these persons because I would not want my own friends to set up a reality TV and come and use my story that I've told her in private to be doing an example. Even if she not mention my name, I will know she's talking about me. And once I subscribe and I watch, I will call her, hey, so you not see example use. And no matter when I tell you now, you can easily do example. So I'm not going to do that. But the thing is, I've realized that it's not always like that. I've seen cases where um, a girl who's not even wide, who wasn't wild or who did not do any nasty or I don't know, who did not live a reckless life while she was single. She knows she was a good girl to the core. I used to get married to a douchebag. It happens. So the thing is just that's like me, everything they hear me talk about. I mean, I just take it all up to God. Just involve God in all your affairs and pray that the Holy Spirit helps you make the right decision, including that of a life partner, because it's the most, just as a career decision, the one of a life partner is like literally one of the most important decisions you can make in your life. So for mine, I practiced friendship. We had friendship in between us. We had communication. I've known my spouse since I was 22, fresh out of the university, or yes, I think so. And then had breaks in where we splitted, we broke up, came back again, broke up, and then up until the time he came with the whole marriage thing and all that. And yes, he said he had prayed about it. Me too. Okay, I prayed about it too. Or maybe I just went along with the father because he said he had prayed. And I just assumed that God is there in the story. I know, but the thing is, he's somebody that we had a friendship between us from like day one, so it was easy to. It wasn't so hard saying okay to him when he actually came. I don't think it's realistic that you live with somebody for 2, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, and there will not be cases where you had like major serious basbos. If you're in a marriage like that, I think it's fake. Really. I mean, I know I'm not in support of violence. It doesn't have to be violence, but if there's no small quarrel and all that, I think maybe that was what I thought. I just thought that okay, we'll quarrel, and the quarrel should not be so intense. Now the quarrel can be pleasant. Now this is unrealistic expectation. We should quarrel, but the quarrel should be pleasant. He can tell me what now, but make him also tell me the thing now. So in other words, I have to tell him how to be angry with me. It's not realistic. And then like so over time, I had to learn. I had to learn all these things inside years and experiences, and every day. That's why they say you don't graduate from it. It's like every day I had to now know that sometimes you can be hot. There sometimes it will be hot, and it will tell me things, and it will not be pleasant at all. So all those motivational, whatever you read, that tells you that when a man is angry with you, even in his anger, you should still remember that you're this. It's not always like that. So to be honest, yes, even in his anger, it should be kind because kindness is not based on your mood, and kindness is who you are as a person. But even a kind person sometimes can be mean. Mean in terms of okay, when upset, they say mean things and all. It doesn't now mean that automatically that person is no longer kind. I think we have really unrealistic expectations and we expect too much and maybe when we start shifting our expectations, then it wouldn't hurt so much. But yes, it's a beautiful institution. Yes, I'm happy I'm married. Yes, thank God that I am not I don't know what I would have done if I was at the age I'm in now. If I wasn't married, I probably would be doing these same things that maybe young people are doing now, which is okay, like the wedding gown thing I gave, the instance I gave, and all that. So I cannot condemn those things because I don't know what I would have done if I was in that shoes. That's why I don't want to say anything about it. That's why I'm not going to sit here and look you in the eye and some of my family friends and be like, "I don't be worried, just do this." Nah, I don't know what I would have done. Maybe now I'll be hopping from one church to the other, thinking that okay, the more I attend these churches, the sooner the husband will come. Maybe I would have been doing other, even more desperate measures. So I don't want to go there. The only thing I was just going to say, like, just seek God, Sha. Every other thing, Sha, just follows. Okay, so whilst I was talking about the whole episode was about the madness surrounding marriage and everything, basically, the conclusively, the thing is just there's no formula to this thing. There's no rules. It's important to surround yourself with people who can actually give great advice, and it's not always about age. Yes, it's good to talk to your parents if your parents are the kinds that had the type that have a successful marriage. It's okay to seek advice from them. Religious leaders, maybe a pastor's wife. Sometimes there are some spouses who don't really like that. Some husbands do not like it when you take their issue as the wife to go tell your pastor in church and all that. So it's just knowing what works for you, knowing what works for you. I think that's it for me. So there's no rules, there's no formula. I'm not coming here. That's why, and maybe that's why my girls they like me, my friends. They be like, because I'm not, they have seen this thing. Their friends like when you just get married, when they get married, this madness. I remember that time had when I wasn't married, some of my friends were, and we're really still young, that relatively young then. Maybe some of them got married at a really young stage. And then the next thing is Coco, your bell is ringing. No, it's your bell that is ringing. Well, when are you getting? When is the bell is ringing? When are you getting married? We're just like fresh out of maybe the university and all. This age on our side. Maybe for you, rushing off to get married is what you want. That's okay. It's fine. Maybe for me, I want to work a bit. Maybe for me, it's important that the 4 years I spent in the university is not a waste. I want to try to see what I can do with my degree and just maybe make my dad proud. Maybe for you, what will make your own folks proud is if you immediately bring a husband home. So it works differently. Don't put people under unnecessary pressure. Don't go around because you're not married now, because you're engaged now. You're telling others, when are you now? You're using to when you want married now, you never see person. Stop me. Screw that, please. If you're that kind of friend, stop doing it. It's not nice. I don't think I've ever done that to anyone who knows me. Ask you why you're not married or when you're going to marry that, or oh, your age is ticking, or oh, what is worry you? Which one be your age did tick? I know. People should stop doing it. The friends that it's really annoying. So the number of years you spend being married is literally more than the number of years you spend by yourself. So why don't people already? There's already too much pressure and all this madness surrounding marriage. It's not something we can go over with 30 minutes, 1 hour talk. It's too long. The debate is too long. So I'd rather just have a podcast soon where I'd have to discuss with air the opinions of other women, and they will see like a round table talk where we can. Then you hear some crazy things and you'll be surprised. So really, the whole madness. My advice to any single person I know who's not yet married: just take your time. Honestly, it's better you take your time, even if you marry late, and still try to make the right decision in the end, than rush into it and end up being frustrated for the rest of your life. Like they say, forever is too long to be unhappy. That notwithstanding, doesn't mean that if you take your time, there still would not be fights and all that. Perfectly normal. In fact, I read somewhere, I think I read something like that on Instagram, some research where they said, I don't know if it's psychologically or something Kalisha, but they said couples who tend to fight like often are actually what's the word? They tend to even last longer than the ones who don't at all. It may seem like a bit of a stretch, but realistically speaking, I think it's true. And by fighting, please, there are levels to this fight. So, would not say, you people know what I mean. There are levels to this fight, but I feel like the more you fight, you get to bond deeper, you get to understand yourselves. Like for me, for instance, there's certain kinds of fights that has actually happened between my spouse and I that in my wildest imagination, when I was single, if you had told me that me and this man would have that kind of thing, I would not have actually believed it. I could have sworn that no. Why? I mean, I'm a delicate woman. Please, you should treat me delicately. What was all this basketballs for? Mama, please, I don't want. I'm a daddy's girl. I don't want heat and all. But we're like serious heat. And, where, yes, I won't even say it. I mean, this is what I promised you guys, unfiltered reality. There have actually been times that, eh, eh, you know, my marriage was almost on the verge. I actually thought it was on the verge of collapsing, like we're going our separate ways. And yes, I will share a message where my spouse is telling me how we can share how we can share custody of the babies. I will put it here. This is unfiltered reality, I promise now. So what's the point in hiding it? You guys come and hear the story. And that was very recently. Now, in my wife, if you had told me that is a conversation that will come up in my marriage ever, and I said, no, hell no, he, never. Me and Mr. Gap, Papa Ibeji, my baby boo, built to last. I don't know. We can never have that kind of thing where we feel like we want to leave each other. We can't stand each other. No. But hell, it happens. Yes. We couldn't. And I got a message from this man telling me that we have to talk about how to divide custody of the babies. I'm like, I looked at the message. I'm like, this, just matter. I almost wanted to reply and write, why don't you cut off one of Zada's hands and take one of the twins? Since the babies are three, we cannot exactly share the custody equally. So you take one and a half, and I'll take one and a half. I was going to be that nasty and send a message like that, but I'm just like, this message, So I just ignored it. Mm. You guys, sorry. Reality superstar. I don't want to kill me. So I do not want to be nasty by replying a message and say, no problem, I will share custody. Come and take one and a half. And I'll take one and a half. But it was a sad period for me. I'm sure it was for him too, because there's no way it won't take its toll on him. That kind of fight. And it was nasty. I wasn't ready to listen. He wasn't ready to listen. We're just both at loggerheads. So a few of my G's, I think, were aware of this thing. But now, the essence of saying this story is not just because I want to give you people inside my ball and what's going on in my marriage. It's just to say that sometimes it can get like that. Yes, are we in love? Yes, of course, madly in love. Like we are so close and all. But do we have nasty fights like this? Yes, things that I never knew would happen, but they have happened. And so it is what marriage is. So this something like this is not the kind of thing you now prejudice someone or push someone to enter and just be like, and just marry or one thing, all the men now one thing, and please, I don't go with the whole notion of all men has come. My dad is not a scum. My sons, I will raise them. Their wife will know that the queen raised them. They're not going to be scums. I did not marry a scum. I just know that sometimes, yes, even good people can sometimes do I don't want to use the word bad things, but can sometimes out of character, and then we just pray and hope that okay, more communication, the right guidance, a change of heart or a renewal of heart, and different factors will just come in place to make these people go back to the way they were before or even better. And then also there's the issue of peer pressure. There are people who usually feel like the women are usually the ones that easily get this peer pressure, fall under this, get influenced by their peers. I don't think it's true. Actually, I feel like the men folk, I feel like it's worse now. The men they see now, maybe in our fathers it was the women, but now you see guys having beer and having all this talk and doing all this. In fact, you could see a man who probably is a one woman man, and then you see his friends mocking him like it's a bad thing. They're mocking him, making him feel like your wife they use your head or your wife sits down on top of your head. Or guy, you they do or like Oleo, you do like Ogbolo. And he is the one doing the right thing amongst them. But they put do it in such a way, they'll say it in such a way that it will look like he's the one not doing the right thing. And then this man will actually feel like, okay, no, the pressure is not getting to them. No, they're cool. They're not listening to their friends. But then later, sometimes in maybe the way words, maybe you fight and your words did not say to you, and you begin to look like, guy, if you're not cheating, you're not doing me a favor. You're doing yourself a favor. Being responsible is not a favor to me. It's good for you to be responsible. It's good for your children to be responsible. So stop acting like you not maybe having other women and all that is a favor to your wife. It's not. Being responsible is what you promised. moving forward, going into the marriage. I'm responsible. If the woman is responsible, the man too has to be. So there should be no case where one feels like not doing this, not indulging in this bad habits. It's should be like, is it privilege? I'll call it, or something to your spouse. Just I don't want to go too deep into that one, but that's by the way. That one not happened to me. Before people not think that maybe there be Papa Ibeji don't they cheat on Coco. I just want to that they did not cheat on me, or if I should rest, it will not happen. I should rest. It will not happen. That wasn't what the issue was. I'm just saying that because I've seen something. I've seen how sometimes the pressure, even for a man who's like really quiet and doesn't go out. Yes, this part actually involves me because my spouse and I had this sort of issue where he likes to keep to himself. He likes his own company. He just likes to read at home, go about his work outside, come back, read. He likes his own. But then later, it just felt like, some of this friends would just make it look like, guy, this is you, your family, your friends. This loner life is too much. Come out and drink. And then it usually starts from one bottle, from two. And then before you know, the outing becomes too frequent. So if the man is not disciplined and doesn't know how to retrace his step, the problem begins from them. So thank God for partners that know when to draw the line. Thank God for partners that know how to come back. So I know since I've been going on about the women, but please, it's not always like in the marriage thing. It's both ways, The women too, sometimes we too, because I know I cited some examples where I said, oh, my spouse this and my spouse that, and I didn't say any. Trust me, I am not blameless. I am very flawed. A very flawed woman, but a blessed woman, no doubt, but very flawed. So I know that, of course, there are certain things also, because if my partner is that way, it's not because he just decided to be crazy. Maybe there are also things I'm doing. Maybe there are habits. Maybe there are some of my actions. Maybe there are things also that I have done to get him that way. So the bottom line has just come to that communication, which I mentioned. And then I went on to mention comprehension, because I said I found out that even though we're communicating, it began to look like we're not making any headway with the communication. So I realized then that it was time to not pay a lot of attention on comprehension. But one thing I'm grateful for that has remained intact is the friendship has been there. So even when we fight, it was easy. Like after the whole custody of the kids thing happened, I thought, nah, I would never forgive this man. No, I would not forgive this man. No, never. Oh, this. I can't love him again. I can't give him myself. I can't be vulnerable around him again. I can't be. No, he can't see that part of me. Now I'm going to be this woman and not. But when we settled this, see, our bond just grew deeper. If anything, it just grew deeper. So that's how you know when it's real. Those are usually the telltale signs, the things that will help you know that, okay, this is real. Because if you're able to get to move on from a very nasty fight like this and learn from it and become better, it's not just moving on and settling and still doing the same thing. No, you got better after the fight and all. Then you know you're improving, you're growing. You're not in one place. It's when you're stagnant, you still go back, do the same thing, and that's when it feels like no. So it's. I'm sure I also in one of the episodes I'm probably going to feature him. I'm sure we'll have a lot to say about about this not case of a wife that he married. You probably say, so I will not be surprised since me, I came here to wash his own dirty linen. So him too will also say his own. And I know I know my gray areas. Let's move on from that. Stay locked in, subscribe, comment, like, follow, tell people about this channel. It's hot gist, premium gist, amebo, juicy stuff, things that we don't want to talk about. You don't want to talk about, but you're looking for who help you talk about it. Come to me. I'm here for you. Thank you.